Guys, I'm Melky here. Thank you very much for watching this video. I am reading the Microsoft Service Agreement. This really great agreement is going to be applied in the 15th August. That at least that was the plan. It has been issued last month in the 15th last month. So I'm continuing reading on. It is a hefty and compact and deep and dense text and moreover I am not a legal professional, so I'm going to have difficulty and likely mistakes. Hopefully not, but this is not a professional advice, guys. If you want to rely on this information, especially for things that are at high stakes, especially in the context of yours, which I would most likely don't understand, please consult to your own professional advisor, and because I am not giving any professional assurance here. Now, let's start reading. Store refers to a service that allows you to browse, download, purchase, and rate and review applications. The term application includes games and other digital content. These terms cover use of certain stores owned or operated by Microsoft or its affiliates, including but not limited to the Office Store, Microsoft Store on Xbox, and Microsoft Store on Windows. Office Store means a store for office products and apps for Office. Microsoft 365, obviously, like Excel, like Words, SharePoint, Exchange Access, and Project 2013 versions or later, or any other experience that is branded Office Store. Now, Microsoft Store on Windows means a store owned and operated by Microsoft or its affiliates for Windows devices such as phone, PC, and tablet, or any other experience that is branded Microsoft Store and accessible on Windows devices such as phone, PC, or tablet. Okay, let me try to read that again. There's a little bit of uh, things that are distracting to me a little bit. Here, any other experience that is branded Office Store, Microsoft Store on Windows means a store owned and operated by Microsoft or its affiliates for Windows devices such as phone, PC, and tablet, or any other experience that is branded Microsoft Store and accessible on Windows devices such as phone, PC, or tablet. Okay. Or any other experience that is branded Microsoft Store and accessible on Windows devices such as phone, PC, or tablet. Microsoft Store on Xbox means a store owned and operated by Microsoft or its affiliates and made available on Xbox consoles, or any other experience that is branded Microsoft Store and made available on an Xbox console. License terms. We will identify the publisher of each application available in the relevant store. Unless different license terms are provided with the application, the standard application license terms, or SALT, at the end of these terms are an agreement between you and the application publisher setting forth the license terms that apply to an application you download through any store owned or operated by Microsoft or its affiliates, excluding the Office Store. So there are likely going to be other terms and conditions. For clarity, these terms cover the use of and services provided by Microsoft services. Section 5 of these terms also applies to any third-party apps and services acquired through a store. Applications downloaded through the Office Store are not any third-party apps and services acquired through a store. Applications downloaded through the Office Store are not governed by the SALT and have separate license terms that apply. Okay, I understood it wrong. Unless different license terms are provided with the application, the standard application license terms, or SALT, at the end of these terms are an agreement between you and the application publisher. So, excuse me. This is a Microsoft Service Agreement, right? This is not the standard application license terms, I assume. This is a service-specific terms. So this is not the standard application license terms. So if you want to be thorough with your terms and condition here, you gotta check out the SALT as well when you download an application or you purchase an application at the store. updates, Microsoft will automatically check for and download updates to your applications, even if you are not signed into the relevant store. You can change your store or system settings. Excuse me, guys. If you prefer not to receive, automatic updates to store applications. However, certain store applications that are entirely or partly hosted online may be updated at any time by the application developer and may not require your permission to update. Okay, so in the previous video, I talked about this as well. Like in the Xbox, they implemented some automatic updates, and I don't know, guys. I gotta be specific now that I don't know whether or not Xbox is going to force upon an application or security updates or not. I as that like if you have Xbox, then you would probably know, but yeah, but I was kind of in a little bit of a rant about that. I didn't imply that Xbox were violating all of these things. I don't really know, but just I'm deriving it from the paragraph or the license. So uh, it's just my rant was in relation to the terms and the implication that are not based on real life examples, but something that are possible to be happening, or that are a liability based on the wording of the terms. Okay, now in this case here, we got also some kind of like updates, or yes, like a regulation or an order in relation to software versions. So in relation to that, this could be a problem to some people, because some people like the previous version better, and some people complain that, oh, I've upgraded Excel, I've upgraded the Word, and now I cannot work the same way as before. I prefer the previous version, probably because I've scaled up a lot and I rely on some of the even the simplest stuff too much already. And it is entirely possible that it is important for the application to allow people to not accept updates. And yeah, based on that alone, it is relevant to formulate some kind of negotiations or products of negotiations, like these terms, like right here. So let's read it a little bit more carefully and see what are these people like Microsoft have coined up, right? Because definitely this is high quality, guys. This is a gem right here. Microsoft will automatically check for and download updates to your applications even if you are not signed into the relevant store. Okay, you can change your store or system settings if you prefer not to receive automatic updates to store applications. So by default, you would be automatically updating your software when it is asking for an update, or when the update is being made published or broadcasted by the application provider. However, certain Office Store applications that are entirely or partly hosted online may be updated at any time by the application developer and may not require your permission to update. Right. So you got to pay attention to this. Like what I said before, if you rely on this application for work and then the application change a significant part that for you, probably for a lot of people it's not significant, that's why they just change it like that casually, but for you it might be important. So pay attention to that. And you if something really unstable happening, it's hard now. Like, who are you going to hold responsible but yourself? It's an unfortunate thing, but yes, that is yeah, that's why it's valuable, guys. If you have a company like that and you provided service to many people, uh, things like that could definitely become an issue at the level of high stakes. So now, ratings and reviews. If you rate or review an application or other digital good in the store, You may receive email from Microsoft containing content from the publisher of the application or digital good. If you rate or review an application, you might get a reply. Any such email comes from Microsoft. We do not share your email address with publishers of applications or other digital goods you acquire through the store. All right, so it is nice to know that your email is not being shared for with the application, like store user or the application provider. Next, safety warning. To avoid possible injury, discomfort, or eye strain, you should take periodic breaks. Don't forget to drink water from use of games or other applications, especially if you feel any pain or fatigue resulting from the usage. Again, guys, water. If you experience discomfort, take a break. Discomfort might include feelings such as nausea, motion sickness, dizziness, disorientation, headache, fatigue, eye strain, or dry eyes. Using applications can distract you and obstruct your surroundings. Avoid trip hazards, stairs, low ceilings. It sounded like a VR terms now, right? Fragile or valuable items that could be damaged. A very small percentage of people may experience seizures while exposed to certain visual images like flashing lights or patterns that may appear in applications. Even people with no history of seizures may have an undiagnosed condition that can cause these seizures. Symptoms may include lightheadedness, altered vision, twitching, jerking, and shaking of limbs, disorientation, confusion, loss of consciousness, or convulsions. Immediately stop using and consult a doctor if you experience any of these symptoms, or consult a doctor before using the applications if you've ever suffered symptoms linked to seizures. Parents should monitor their children's use of applications for signs of symptoms. Right, it is nice that they notify people with this, and also as a content creator, you would want to pay attention so that your content, as much as your content is really great and really good, the reality is everything is a risk. Everything everything has some risk factor to it. And who's going to be held responsible? It is nice that we have some kind of contract or agreement and an example from such terms of and conditions, service agreement being provided to us, so that we are exposed to what other people have experienced, and we could empathize with other content creators, and especially prominent content creators such as Microsoft here. Thank you, Microsoft, again. Next, Microsoft Family Features. Microsoft Family Features. Parents and kids can use Microsoft Family Features, including Microsoft Family Safety, to build trust based on a shared understanding of what behaviors, websites, apps, games, physical locations, and spending is right in their family. Parents can create a family by going to a link there, or by following the instructions on their Windows device or Xbox console, and inviting kids or other parents to join. There are many features available to family members, so please carefully review the information provided when you agree to create or join a family, and when you purchase digital goods for family access. Right. So this is interesting, guys. You know that Microsoft has professional version and home version for Office, right? And it is kind of like, what am I doing reading all of these terms and conditions? And if I use the family version of Office for work purposes, and I would be breaking the terms and conditions anyway. But gladfully, Microsoft, from my amateur, prone to mistake experience, does not really forbade us from using, or it is not really a problem for Microsoft, even legally speaking, right? Officially speaking, for us to use the Office products for work purposes, Obviously, there are some reliability issues if you want to use it for a scaled up situation. Yeah, obviously, even I would imagine that you would better be with an enterprise version with Microsoft. On top of that, you would be also giving thanks to Microsoft at the same time. So there's some kind of elements of reciprocity in your network, and you would want that definitely. And yeah, and then why am I talking about all this now? Now that reading these terms and condition here, reading this paragraph here, now I know that the family, that in office, right, you can share to your family. You can share office in email, and the recipients just put their email in, and they can use office with you because they are family. Now I know that you don't really have to be immediate, actual, official, legal family. You can take up any person as your family, and they also acknowledge it here. So that is interesting. That could be something that I could use for, like beneficial interactions for my life, in more ways than just limited or constricted kind of like context, right? This is nice. This is really nice for me to know. By creating or joining a family, you agree to use the family in accordance with its purpose and won't use it in an unauthorized way to unlawfully gain access to another person's information. Okay, I didn't mean that when I was saying that previously. I didn't mean this. I didn't mean this, guys. Moving on, guys. Group messaging. Various Microsoft services allow you to send messages to others via voice or SMS or messages, and or allow Microsoft and Microsoft controlled affiliates to send such messages to you and one or more other users on your behalf. When you instruct Microsoft and Microsoft controlled affiliates to send such messages to you or to others, you represent and warrant to us that you and each person you have instructed us to message consent to receive such message and any other related administrative text messages from Microsoft and Microsoft controlled affiliates. Okay, all right, guys. So if you broke up with your girlfriend and your girlfriend don't want to talk with you, don't use Microsoft don't use Microsoft SMS services or text messaging services, right? Because they don't want to deal with that. Right? Am I wrong? Next, administrative text messages are periodic transactional messages from a particular Microsoft service, including but not limited to a welcome message or instruction on how to stop receiving messages. You or group members no longer wishing to receive such messages can opt out of receiving further messages from Microsoft or Microsoft control affiliates at any time by following the instructions provided. If you no longer wish to receive such messages or participate in the group, you agree that you will opt out through the instructions provided by the applicable program or service. If you have reason to believe that a group member no longer wishes to receive such messages or participate in the group, you agree to remove them from the group. You also represent and warrant to us that you and each person you have instructed us to message understands that each group member is responsible for the cost of any message charges assessed by his or her mobile carrier, including any international message charges that may apply when messages are transmitted from US-based numbers. Okay, this one reminds me of some stories about people in the group fighting on each other because one of them has different political stances, right? And that apparently, if you use Microsoft services, I imagine a lot of people use WhatsApp as well. I imagine if Facebook have a terms like this, they also like is going to be involved in this. in a way that their stance would be, we don't want you would be violating the terms and condition if you kept on forcing this upon other people. Well, this is Microsoft, okay? Facebook's gotta have their own terms. So like, it is interesting for me to know that Microsoft is not neutral when such scenario happen based on this reading. Or am I wrong? I could definitely be wrong. I'm an amateur, guys, and I'm prone to mistakes. But yeah, so far that is my conclusion. But I could always, change it if I'm wrong. Next, Skype, Microsoft Teams, and Group Me. Next, guys, let's continue on. Skype, Microsoft Teams, and Group Me. Emergency services. There are important differences between traditional mobile or fixed line telephone services and Skype. Microsoft Teams and Group Me. Microsoft has or fixed line telephone services and Skype, Microsoft Teams, and Group Me. There are differences, important differences between the traditional mobile. Microsoft has limited obligations under applicable local or national rules, regulations, or law to offer access to emergency services such as 911 or 112 emergency calling or emergency services through Skype, Microsoft Teams, and Group Me. Only limited software versions of the Skype to phone feature or Skype may support calls to emergency services in a very limited number of countries. So if you use Skype, you might assume that it works like, if you've experienced this Microsoft Teams, Group Me, and wait a minute. You might assume that Skype would always be ready for emergency calling if you have experienced something like that before. But there are other factors that you should be aware of, that there are cases where Skype, let's continue on, and depending on the platform used, you can find details about availability and how to configure this feature here. There's a link here. If your Skype to phone emergency call is connected, you will need to provide the details of your physical location to enable the emergency services to respond to you. Right, that is nice, but again, I say very limited number of countries I read here. Yeah, if you went on a vacation, for example, and you want to use your Skype for emergency services, be careful, right? Be careful beforehand. Just prepare and let yourself know of your access to emergency service always. And then API or broadcasting. If you want to use Skype in connection with any broadcast, you must comply with the broadcast terms of services. There's a link here. If you want to use any application program interface or API exposed or made available by Skype, you must comply with the applicable licensing terms which are available there's a link there. Okay, so interesting. You can make a broadcast. Is it like Twitch? I think it could be a little bit like Twitch, but also not, because it's more like a private. But you could broadcast through Skype, so that is interesting. Next, fair use policies. Fair usage policies may apply to your use of Skype. Please review these policies, which are designed to protect against fraud and abuse, and may place limits on the type, duration, or volume of calls or messages that you are able to make. These policies are incorporated in these terms by reference. You can find these policies and there's a link here. Mapping. Skype contains features that allow you to submit information to or plot yourself on a map using a mapping service. By using those features, you agree to these terms and the Google Maps terms. Wow, there's a name there's the word Google here in Microsoft Service Agreement. Google Maps terms available there's a link there. Well, it's nice to know that people are getting along with each other well. That is nice. That is very nice. Even officially. Some people get along well, but unofficially, and that is sus. Okay, but if you get along officially, that is a little bit more scrutinizable. and that signifies a trust and a happy feeling, like a warm feeling in people's heart. That's nice. Next, personal or non-commercial use. The use of Skype is for your personal and non-commercial use. You are permitted to use Skype at work for your own business communications. So you're permitted to use it for business, but it's intended for personal. If you want to use it, obviously, then it is your choice, but it is not intended for there. So again, like a warranty disclaimer, right? I guess, but I don't know what are other implications with these terms. It is it's a sophisticated. I kind of get a gist that it's a sophisticated insinuation here. Skype number or Skype to go. If Skype provides you with a Skype number or Skype to go number, you agree that you do not own the number or have a right to retain that number forever. For more details on Skype numbers, see a link there. So, how long have you been keeping your phone number? Not email. Well, email, like obviously a lot of people have the same email for a long time. But what about the phone number? Have have you kept the same phone number for 5 years, or maybe 10 years, or maybe 20 years? Okay. Next, Skype Manager. A Skype Manager admin account is created and managed by you, acting as an individual administrator of a Skype Manager group, not as a business entity. You may link your individual Microsoft account to a Skype Manager group or linked account. You may appoint additional administrators to your Skype Manager group, subject to their acceptance of these terms. If you allocate Skype numbers to a linked account, you are responsible for compliance with any requirements related to the residency or location of your linked account users. Wait a minute, why does this need responsibility? If you choose to unlink a linked account from a Skype Manager group, any allocated subscription, Skype Credit, or Skype numbers will not be retrievable, and your content or material associated with the unlinked account will no longer be accessible by you. You agree to process any personal information of your linked account users in accordance with all applicable data protection laws. Wow, this is interesting. This is something that is I am wow, this is like an insider mechanism right here, I suppose. Or is it just me who don't understand this? Skype Charges. Skype paid products are sold to you by Skype Communication SARL. However, the seller of record accountable for taxes is Skype Communication US Corporation. Taxes means the amount of taxes, regulatory fees, surcharges, or other fees that we are required to collect from you, and must be paid to any United States, federal, state, or local or foreign government, agency, commission, or quasi-governmental body as a result of our provision of Skype paid products to you. These taxes are listed there's a link there. All prices for Skype paid products are inclusive of a charge for your product and a charge for taxes, unless otherwise stated. The charges payable for calling phones outside of a subscription consist of a connection fee, charged once per call, and a per minute rate as set out at skype.com/go/all rates. There's a link there if I'm wrong. Call charges will be deducted from your Skype credit balance. Skype may change its calling rates at any time by posting such change at www.skype.com/go/all rates. So there's the link there. The new rate will apply to your next call after publications of the new rates. Please check the latest rates before you make your call. Fractional call minutes and fractional cent charges will be rounded up to the next whole unit. Notwithstanding the foregoing, you may be entitled under applicable law to a refund upon request or any prepaid subscription balance in the event you switch your Skype number to another provider. Notwithstanding the foregoing, you may be entitled under applicable law to a refund upon request of any prepaid subscription balance in the event you switch your Skype number to another provider. Wow. Like I am it's I wish I would understand more about this. It looks like it's a smart setup. Next, Skype Credit. Skype does not guarantee that you will be able to use your Skype Credit balance to purchase all Skype paid products. If you do not use your Skype Credit for a period of 180 days, Skype will place your Skype Credit on inactive status. You can reactivate the Skype Credit by following the reactivation link there's a link there, reactivate credit. You can enable the auto recharge feature when you buy Skype Credit by ticking the appropriate box. If enabled, your Skype credit balance will be recharged with the same amount and by your chosen payment method every time your Skype balance goes below the threshold set by Skype from time to time. If you purchase a subscription with a payment method other than credit card, PayPal, Money Bookers, or Skrill, and you have enabled auto recharge, your Skype credit balance will be recharged with the amount necessary to purchase your next recurring subscription. You can disable auto recharge at any time by accessing and changing your settings in your account portal in Skype. If your Microsoft account is closed for any reason, any unused Skype credit associated with your Microsoft account will be lost and cannot be retrieved. Yeah, be careful guys with this auto recharge stuff. Some people, like, maybe this is a different case, but just for an analogy, right? You probably have experienced or know people who have experienced being charged without their actually wanting to keep on using the services. Like the first time they bought the services, they thought, oh, it's going to end after the services terms end, and after the services terms end, indeed it pulled more money out of your account. If the amount of money is small, it is kind of that is like, all right, what can you do about it? And then you make an adjustment. But if it is quite a significant amount of money, like for example office subscription or something like that, it's quite expensive. So it's better for you to, like, maybe not expensive, right? But they are not charging it monthly, so they charge it like maybe yearly. So when they charge it, they charge a large amount. So the pain is where you unexpected it. If you expected it, it's probably just a scratch because you expected it, but it becomes painful because you unexpected it and it blew your balance away in your planning and everything. So it's kind of important to be able to understand and plan ahead. And I think this issue with Skype also has the same kind of urgency to be learned about a little bit. Next, international message, learn about to the extent where it is enough. Next, international message fees. GroupMe currently uses US-based numbers for each group created. Every text message sent to or received from a GroupMe number will count as an international text message sent to or received from the United States. Depending upon your location, Microsoft Teams may be using a phone number that could count as an international text message. Please check with your provider for the associated international rates. Right, again, related to that, unexpected charges. Since everything is getting more and more happening in the internet, obviously it is easy to make payments. Well, it could be a curse in disguise because the mechanism of the charging in particular could be something that is the blind spot for a lot of people. it is nice to have Microsoft notify us like this upfront. Probably other services are not providing their terms and condition in a better way than Microsoft or Google or any other big companies. So being able to access this service agreement like this is nice. It is a, I'm not gonna say it's a luxury, but it is a it is a service that is enjoyable, an extra service. However, though, still not a lot of people would read the terms and conditions, right? So like it's for, I think it's for, to classify something as fair practices. It is it is um it would be in accordance with the meaning of the word if service providers would just make a user friendly way of notifying people about this, and just to give like, it's not a duty of care, it's just like a habit or a culture that is not making, not uh, not putting things in the blank spot too much. It's just a culture of openness, right? It's like it is something that is expected. Obviously, it is. I'm not trying to spoil people. It is not healthy to spoil people, and sometimes such too much user friendliness make it difficult for a better way of doing things to be adopted. Yes. So I'm not saying you do it in that direction, but what I'm just saying is that uh, people are ignorant for a good reason many times. So there's an angle where people would not be ignorant, and I think it's nice, and it is beneficial, and it is only fair for content providers to actually acknowledge that and to use that. Okay, I'm talking probably over my head already, so let's move on. Or I'm going to end this video here actually, and continue on in the next video, because it's already more than 30 minutes, and I appreciate you guys for staying with me this long. I appreciate your company, and it makes me a lot better. It gives me a lot more quality of experience reading these terms and conditions. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you if you want.